Hey guys, it's Paul here at Impulsive Culinarian. Welcome to part 3 of the Thanksgiving menu recipe series. Okay, so in this episode, we're talking about the main dish. We're doing turkey breast, roasted turkey breast for part 3, and delicious stuff. I'm very fortunate we've been eating a lot of turkey leftovers in preparation for this, okay? Thanksgiving leftovers before Thanksgiving. The ideal main ingredient to use for this recipe is turkey breast, bone-in, skin-on. Good luck finding that. I hope you have an amazing butcher that has this stuff. My butcher does have it, but only a few days before Thanksgiving. So unfortunately, for purposes of this video, I've got to use just boneless turkey breast with no skin. It won't be as flavorful as it could be, but at least it's going to get the job done and it's going to show you how to prepare it. So if at all possible, guys, you want to find 2 turkey breasts that are still attached at that sort of sternum bone in the middle with the skin on. That's going to be delicious. If not, get yourself boneless turkey breast. It'll do just fine. So the second recipe we're going to be doing in this video is a make-ahead vegetarian gravy. Why vegetarian? Well, obviously because I love the look of surprise on any vegetarian guest that walks into my house. And not only are they able to have the stuffing, which if you noticed last video was a vegetarian stuffing, but they can have the gravy too. What? They have unbelievable. This amazing look of surprise on their face. So vegetarian stuffing needs vegetarian gravy, which just wouldn't be Thanksgiving. So we're giving those comfort foods back to those who have made a personal choice to not eat meat, okay? So actually we're gonna do that first because it takes longer to make the gravy than it does to make the turkey. Okay, so for the make-ahead vegetarian gravy, here are the ingredients. 4 cups of vegetable broth, preferably homemade stuff. 1/4 cup of dairy-free margarine. 4 medium yellow onions, chopped. 4 cloves of garlic, also chopped. 1/3 cup of golden raisins. 1 cup of dairy-free milk, any kind will do, almond, coconut, or the blend, whichever you like. 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. 1/3 cup of corn flour. 1 cup of white wine that you would drink, guys, good stuff, okay? 1½ teaspoons of kosher salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. Now for the roasted turkey breast recipe, here's what you're going to need. 2 turkey breasts, preferably bone-in, skin-on. If not, get the boneless turkey breasts, that's fine. 4 tablespoons of brown sugar. 2 tablespoons of Montreal chicken spice. What? Yeah, they make this. It's a thing. I promise you. You will not be disappointed. 1 tablespoon of fresh sage, finely chopped. 1 tablespoon of fresh rosemary, finely chopped. And 1 tablespoon of fresh thyme, also finely chopped. Let's go make the mains for Thanksgiving. Part 3. All right, it's time to get the vegetarian make-ahead gravy started. So, first thing, if you're like us and you make vegetable broth in advance, this is an amazing roasted vegetable broth. It's very flavorful. You can always get the store-bought stuff, of course, but you want to start with 4 cups. So I got my frozen broth here on maximum heat just to melt it. As soon as it starts to boil, bring the heat down just a little bit, keep it at a gentle boil, and reduce it by half. It takes around 20 minutes. So just keep an eyeball on how high it is on the edge of your pan. Well, half of that. That's what you want to keep it at, okay? Next thing, guys, you want to get a medium-sized non-stick skillet over low heat. Get 4 tablespoons or 1/4 cup of margarine, dairy-free margarine in there. Then you want to peel and chop 4 medium-sized yellow onions. Get them into a medium dice. I don't know if that's medium to you, but that's medium for me. Size of your fist, okay? Large would be the big Spanish onion, you know, the size of your head, size of my head. Don't be too concerned about the size of the chop of your onion because later this is going to get minced up in a blender, all right? Okay, 4 medium-sized onions, peeled and chopped. Get those into the non-stick skillet. Okay, so once you've got your onions in the skillet, it should take them around 45 minutes to caramelize. Get that beautiful deep golden brown and sweet flavor, okay? Let them go on low heat. You gotta be patient, that's the hard part. Onions, okay? Don't hurry them up by increasing the heat. So while the onions are going, get yourself 4 cloves of garlic and chop them up. And just like the onions, guys, don't be too concerned about the mince on your garlic, okay? All of this is going to get blitzed up later on, so just chop it up as finely as you can. Side note, my broth has started to boil. So I'm going to set a 20-minute timer for that and just reduce the heat a little tiny bit. I want to leave it medium-high so that it's boiling and evaporating its water. But I only want to do that for around 20 minutes, okay? So bring down the heat a bit, 20-minute timer. Okay, when you get your garlic somewhere between minced and finely chopped, put it in a little bowl and set it aside. Okay, so this is the time-intensive stuff involved in making the mega head gravy. So now I'm gonna get started on the turkey. Turkey breast requires oven, 400 degrees. Okay, so next we're making the rub for these turkey breasts. Now, I've included an ingredient here called Montreal chicken spice. It's delicious, all right? But if you wanna sub it out or you just can't find it in your area, you can always substitute it for poultry seasoning, okay? This kind of spice is essentially the same idea, although personally, I do prefer the Montreal chicken spice, all right? I don't get paid to say that, guys. I am endorsing it just out of pure love. So what I recommend you do for this spice rub is you get yourself a shallow, Pyrex dish or something like that that's gonna allow you to sort of coat the turkey breasts in there once you've got your spices all mixed together. Okay, first, quarter cup of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of Montreal chicken spice. Yum! Next, start plucking your herbs, chop them up. There you go. 1 tablespoon of finely chopped rosemary, thyme, and sage. Into the mix. So get your hands dirty, mix it all together. There's a fine-looking herbed dry spice rub, right? And it smells fantastic. Let's get the bird. What alarm is that for? That's my broth. It has reduced by approximately half. I would say that there's a good 2 cups of broth in there. And I'm just going to set it aside, take it off the heat. I'm going to cover it up so it doesn't evaporate any further. I confess, I had my onions too low. There's low and there's minimum. So you got to bring it up just a little bit. 2 to 3 at least on the dial out of 10. So I've just cranked up the heat a tiny little bit, still on low, but it's going to take a little longer for my onions to caramelize. Boo! That's okay. More time for turkey. Look at these monsters, eh? Big turkey breasts. All right. So I've just trimmed off the little tiny pieces of excess fat, and I'm not going to do anything else to them, all right? Super simple. I picked these specifically because making a bird in the oven, it tastes delicious, guys. I would use a very similar approach, in fact. Sometimes the dark meat's undercooked, or the white meat is overcooked. Just want to remove that stress completely. This is going to turn out delicious. Every morsel of it, okay? So let's get them one at a time into the rub. The beauty of this, just using the natural juices of the turkey breast, it coats so evenly. It looks fantastic. If you've got a little bit extra, put these presentation side up and sprinkle the remaining rub on top. Oh, those are going to be fantastic. Okay, now let's prepare the baking dish. All right, so the weapon of choice for this turkey breast recipe is a 10 by 15 cookie sheet, all right? So this baking dish, you want to line it with parchment paper. Now, just not lying in the bottom. You want the parchment paper to go over the edges just ever so slightly, okay? The reason for that is any juice that comes out of this turkey breast, I want to keep it, all right? So you want to line the sheet in such a way that it is going to capture all of the juice, all right? Here's what I mean. Just like every edge is covered. Little lip on every edge. Then on top of that, you're going to put a cooling rack. That's going to allow the heat to get underneath the turkey breasts and cook them all around. Get those on there. There you go. 2 extremely well seasoned turkey breasts on a cooling rack, on parchment paper, in a baking dish. Let's get it in the oven. So guys, the trick to this is you definitely want to be using an instant read thermometer. You want to get these guys internal temperature to 145, okay? 145, you might say, oh, that's a little bit undercooked. That's right. So you want to take them out as soon as they get to 145, and you want to cover them up and let them rest for 15 minutes or so. That's going to create more juice down on the bottom of your pan. You want that stuff, okay? So let's get them in the center rack of the oven for around 30 minutes or so. I love the timers. You could stack them up all day, right? I've had a few on certain occasions. It helps a lot. Ooh, those onions are starting to smell good. Let's have a look. So this is around a half-hour mark, guys. It's been over low heat for 30 minutes in some nice bubbling dairy-free margarine. You can see that browning happening there. It's just starting to caramelize. So we keep it going until they really start to turn brown. And 10 minutes or so before the end, we're going to add some more ingredients. I had to know. I portioned out my reduced vegetable broth. What is it I made again? 2 cups. It's good. So I'm going to put that back into a smaller container and just keep it warm. Onions are getting there. They're not quite 10 minutes from being finished, but soon. So in the meantime, let's get some raisins. 1/3 of a cup golden raisins. Set on the side. I'm also going to prep my 1 cup of dairy-free milk, sweetened or unsweetened, whichever you like. The sweetened milk, my preference, but if you have unsweetened, go right ahead. So after around 40 minutes or so, 45 minutes, the onions are just getting a little sticky. They're absolutely sweet, so fragrant. Okay, I would say that they're around 10 minutes away from being completely done. Now is when you want to add in your chopped garlic and your golden raisins. Timer went off when I was recording the side shoot. Okay, so the 10-minute mark is there. In around 10-15 minutes, my onions are going to be done. Now I'm going to add the minced garlic and the golden raisins. So we're going to let that garlic saute for 10-15 minutes. It's also going to get nice and fragrant and almost caramelized. And the raisins, they're going to take on the flavor. They're going to be reconstituted with the amazing, amazing flavors of caramelized onions and garlic and a little bit of dairy-free margarine in there. Okay, so that is the magic main part of this gravy. Some good-looking turkey breasts in that oven right now. I'll tell you that much. I'm sneaking pumpkin pie off camera. Ho-ho! Okay, when your onions are caramelized, or you have reached the limits of your patience, whichever comes first, guess what happened to me? What you want to do is you want to take the 1 cup of dairy-free milk, put it right in the skillet. It's going to shock it and cool everything down and get it into a blender. Okay, let it rip. You want this to be nice and smooth. No lumps. No lumps. Okay, so the longer you keep this in your blender, the smoother it's going to get. All of your major flavor in this gravy is coming from this mixture right here. The raisins, the caramelized onions, the garlic, all that good stuff. But the problem is, it comes at a price. It's got little lumps and all that. The longer you blend it, the better. And when you're done, we're going to go an extra step. We're going to make sure that this is a nice, smooth gravy. We're going to strain this mixture into a large mixing bowl. Before we go any further, it's time to check the temperature on our turkey breasts. 30 minutes has expired. Let's have a look. Okay, so it's just shy of, I'd say it's going to get to 135. I need another 5 or 6 degrees on that. So I'm going to put it back in for another, I'm going to say 5 minutes. Okay, back to straining the onion mixture. So get yourself a large spoon and push this mixture through the sieve. Get as much of it as you possibly can. We've done everything that we can to get as much of this flavor smoothed out and into the final sauce. I've only got a minute left on my turkey breast timer there. It's for the extra 5 minutes. I don't want to start anything else until that's out. Then I will rest easy. Okay, moment of truth. Let's have a look. 134, 35, 36. This is looking good. All right, internal temp of 140 and rising. Perfect. So now what we want to do is we want to take the turkey breasts on the cooling rack and put them on a grooved cutting board. You want to make sure to have these grooves to catch any juices. And there will be juices that are going to come out of these while they rest for the next 15 minutes. And certainly when you cut. So this is your next step in the plan. Now there's not a lot of juice in the bottom of this pan, but I'm certainly going to take every little bit I can get. I'm going to pour it right onto the middle of my cutting board. He's covered up. 15 minutes or so, at least. All right, so for the last part of the gravy, you want to get yourself a saucepan that's large enough to accommodate, a good 3 or so cups of liquid. So get this on medium-high heat on your stovetop. So flour doesn't taste so good until you just cook it a little bit. And by doing this over high heat and stirring it really quickly, you're going to see it starts to get a little bit brown. That's where you want it to be. It's become a roux. Now take it off the heat. Now just in a few short seconds of adding some flour, oil, and wine together, look at that beautiful sort of golden nutty color. And it certainly doesn't taste like raw flour. So let's get that back on the heat and add the broth. So I had a small technical glitch, guys. I'm missing a little segment here. Let me just fill you in on what's happened on cam number 1 here. You've seen the roux, okay, start to brown. I took that off the heat. I added the broth reduction and I stirred that around. I brought it to a boil. Once it was at a boil, I again removed it from the heat. Now that in itself makes a beautiful gravy, okay? Could season that and serve it no problem. But I had this beautiful onion mixture that I've created painstakingly, smoothed it out in the whole bit. Now what I've done is I've taken the broth mixture off the heat and I spooned in the onion mixture, okay? So that I can watch and control until my gravy gets to the right consistency. This is acting as a thickener as well. Once I got to, I'd say 1 spoon shy of the entire amount of onion mixture, I had basically gotten the gravy to where I wanted it to be. So instead of adding the whole thing out of principle, I just wanted to make sure that the gravy was the priority. So I didn't really waste too much of the onion mixture, and what I have as an end result is absolutely luxurious. So having said all that, let me show you what it looks like close up. So this gorgeous, luxuriously thick gravy, okay, completely vegetarian, and using the flavors from that wonderful onion mixture that we've painstakingly made, it's exactly where I want it to be. Now, the reason for adding it 1 spoon at a time, adding that onion mixture, okay, 1 spoon at a time into the broth, it allows you to control the thickness, okay? Some people like it a little thinner, some people like it a little bit thicker. So that's where you get to choose. Now that this is all done, I'm gonna keep it on minimum to let it simmer, and I'm gonna season it with some salt and pepper. Recording now? Sheesh. All right, so add 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt and some freshly ground black pepper to taste. And of course, give it a taste. Wow, good. That's so fun. A really nice surprise. A trick vegetarian gravy, okay? This, by the way, is a killer gravy for poutine, in case you're in the business of making some poutine. But it also stands up well enough to be something that you'd be proud of in a gravy boat when you're serving your Thanksgiving dinner. So once you've gotten your gravy to this stage, okay, if you've made it ahead, now you can refrigerate it, put it in an airtight container, and then when you're ready to serve it, all you have to do is get it back in the saucepan and gently warm it up, simmer it on low heat, covered, until it's ready to serve. Put it in a gravy boat, even better. Now with all of this fiddling around with gravy, that's why I make it ahead. It stresses me out. There's so much going on. So do this well in advance. Don't do this on Thanksgiving Day. Now, let's get the turkey. Let's unwrap the gift. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Lots of juices coming out of that. Yes, indeed. So when I say lots of juices, here's what I'm talking about. Half of the moat is filled. Oh, that's golden flavor right there. And there's a lot more to come. As soon as I start slicing into these incredibly mammoth-sized turkey breasts, more juice is going to come out, and I want to reserve all of it. Okay, so that when it's sliced up and I put it on a platter, I'm going to take that juice and I'm going to pour it on top. It's going to make such a delicious presentation. So let's do it. That's ridiculous.
You're recording?
Yeah, you want to come say hi?
Okay.
Guest appearance, Madame Cassidy.
Hi.
Hey, can you smell the turkey in here?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. What are you doing? You jumping in the sink?
No.
Now the show is going to be taken over. What do you have to say? Talk about Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, we're gonna have this sort of turkey, so that's why we're making this video. So at your Thanksgiving, you can make the same thing. If it's already your a tradition thing and you do gluten, try something ungluten or dairy, like what we're making right now. Bye. Dad is going to be taking over, Dad. Now.
Now that's a sales pitch. Thanks, buddy. Good job. Excellent promo. I love her. All right, so I'm going to remove these turkey breasts from the rack, which I no longer need. I'd have to lick my fingers. Oh my God. Wow. Okay. Now you can slice these up however you like. I like to do a nice big 3/4 inch slice so that everybody gets a big, big divot of meat. After you're done slicing, of course, pour off any juices that have come out of those turkey breasts. And there will be some, even if it's another ounce. Take it. And there you have it, guys. This is a main that you can be very proud to put on your table. Some roasted turkey breast with a beautiful herb rub and some Montreal chicken spice. Yeah. Hey, I highly recommend it. This is a winner, absolutely. Okay? Serves 6 to 8 in keeping with all of the recipes in this series. So that's part 3. And the make-ahead gravy, you know, that's a challenge because you don't want to do it on the night of. I'm so glad I'm not going to have to do it on the night of this Thanksgiving. But try it out. Really rich, voluptuous, and delicious. And of course, there's part 4 coming up, the desserts. Now, I've got them on the counter right over there, but I'm not going to show you. I want you to come back next Saturday, guys, and check out what's coming. I got 2 beautiful gluten-free, dairy-free pies that I think you're really going to enjoy, okay? You know what one's going to be, but you don't know the other. It's a secret. My name is Paul from Impulsive Culinarian. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And if you've enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Smash that button. It would really mean a lot. And of course, every Wednesday, we got the live weekly update, Wines Day. I got another bottle cooking up. It's not quite in the top 5, but it's close. I can't wait to share that with you. So I'll see you there on Wednesday. And of course, next Saturday for part 4 of the Thanksgiving series. See ya. This. Oh, a little bit sweet. All of the nice holiday herbs. Oh, beautiful. And it's so tender. Serve this, guys. Serve this.